and welcome along to the ProjectCars2 virtual racing Mojave Madness race here today. Round 3 of this particular championship. It's been a hell of a championship so far, so many drivers in the mix, and as you can see the grid is pretty big. And 15 drivers in total competing in this series, which I think is a record for this racing league. And yeah, round 3 today is at the Coyote Noose circuit, just over a mile long, only a few corners for the drivers to tackle today, but they are very fast corners. It's practically an oval layout. And so far in the championships, Alex CDL is leading just about from Stuart Davis. He's got a nice points cushion there, actually, over Stuart in second. Crazy Stu put up there in third, just ahead of Scuderia Sam, Dude Chef, Chris Doherty, Loopy McGee, Cherry Berry. Adam up there in ninth, just ahead of Toxico, Del Boy, Free Gazelle there as well in the mix. And the teams championship, don't forget, this is a team sport as well. And Scuderia are actually leading that, despite not having any wins today. So we'll see if they can get a win on the scoreboard ahead of Toxi CDL in second. Crazy Berry and Dude Gazelle there as well, fighting away. And here's how the starting grid looks today. It's Alex CDL once again on pole position. Incredible. Just ahead of Stuart Davis and Scuderia Sam. So the three main protagonists for the title there in first, second and third. Crazy Stu Potts, Loopy McGee, Dude Chef, Adam, Free Gazelle, Cherry Berry and Chris Doherty. Rounding out the order there. Chris has got a lot of work to do here. Let's see how he gets on, and let's see how the rest of them get on as we wait for the lights and the revs rise. And it's a great start there, I think, from Stuart Davis, who goes straight into the lead, and that's Scuderia Sam in third, just behind Alex, and that's Free Gazelle off already on the grass there as they come round now the first corner. And it's a very, very fast flowing track this, as you can see already. Hardly any braking points at all, so it's going to be absolute pedal to the floor here. And look at that, D-Man trying to go round the outside there, I think, of, was it Chris, his Team Island teammate? I think it might have been. As Alex now taking the lead away from Stuart Davis as they come round the last corner to start this, to finish this first lap of this 15-minute race. And look, it's absolute mayhem going on now between Chris Doherty, D-Man and Loopy McGee, battling over 4th, 5th and 6th positions, trying to catch Scuderia Sam there for 3rd. And oh, there's contact, big contact, and there's a car going over and over, and now another car collects them all too. There's about 3 or 4 cars in the mix there, and that's McGee, Chris Doherty was involved, D-Man I think maybe involved there as well, and Toxico. Practically half the grids here today was involved in that one. And you can see the mayhem with the bits of debris littering the track now at just after the start finish. That was Alex CDL now leading the way from Stuart Davis, and Alex joins me in the commentary today as ever. And Alex, what do you think of that start?
A great start by Stu, but I think he went a bit tame going into the second corner, which allowed Alex to just fight back. But that was a huge crash going into the second lap. I think that was Loopy McGee that caused that, so it may be a possible penalty for him, somehow wiping out half of the grid, which is quite impressive, as we see him there with no front nose cone. Still in 5th, which is quite impressive, but he has Toxico right behind him, chasing him quite hard. There's only a second between those two, and he's pretty close to D-Man as well in 4th place. But after that crash, a bit far behind the leading trio up front, as we see Stu now chasing Alex pretty hard.
Yeah, right on board with Stuart now. Look, you can see Alex just up ahead, going over the brow of the hill there, and it's got quite a few elevation changes on this circuit, as have all of the track layouts here at the Mojave made-up location on this game, ProjectCars2. And that's Toxico now, just ahead of recovering McGee. I don't think it was Loopy McGee's fault, to be honest, but he did actually cause it, didn't he? So I don't think it was anything intentional, is what I was going to say, sorry. And Toxico lagging a little bit there, but McGee's trying to get past now. He's lining them up for a slipstream down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, it looks like he might go into the first corner. Even though it's an oval, it is still quite hard on the brakes going into the first and, well, the only 2 corners on the track. So you can have a little bit of a dive, but it is hard. You definitely need the slipstream though, as these two are reeling D-Man in, it looks like, quite nicely, with Chris just behind, so he'll be losing out on this, as he won't have a slipstream to catch these 3 up. A good little battle, it looks like, brewing here.
Certainly is a nice tasty little battle, and we can expect some good racing between these 3, I think, hopefully. And that's Toxico. He's really on a move, isn't he? Making his way past D-Man there, and D-Man is no slouch.
No, he definitely isn't, and looks like D-Man might fight back, taking the shorter line, but Toxico will get the outer line and basically just swoop around the outside still, so unless he goes wide, doesn't quite look like it, but Demon will get the slipstream into the second corner now. Will he try a move? Not quite, he hasn't quite got the space to really dive down the inside. As we see Chris in 7th, he's actually catching Loopy up, so this could be quite interesting as he flashes lights, let him know he is coming for him.
Yep, I think the battle will be resumed after their initial coming together, and Alex Idielna really stretching his advantage over Stewart at the front. 3 seconds that gap is out to, and that last corner they're just flashing through there is really technical, isn't it, for a fast corner? It's downhill, lots of camber changes going on as well, and that's D-Man taking the position away there from Toxico, it looks like.
Yeah, just go around the outside, but Toxico fights back, had a better run out, and that's a great little switchback there from Toxico as he gets 4th place back. I think that might be one of his highest places he's been so far. He's definitely very fast, but a bit unlucky with lag and a few incidents, so we're hoping to keep that 4th place. As we see Stu in 2nd place here. He should be quite used to 2nd place now. His last 2 races he's finished 2nd, so he'll hopefully be going for 1st, you'd have to imagine, with Sam following quite closely now.
Yeah, and Scuderia Sam has been struggling to get to grips with these cars a little bit, but he does seem to be showing a little bit more pace here. He's up in 3rd at the moment, has a nice advantage over the battle in Toxico and D-Man there in 4th and 5th, and he'll be hoping that Alex and Stewart start battling with each other. The gap has closed a little bit at the front, because then could bring Scuderia Sam into play as well. We could have a 3-way battle for the lead of the race there, and it looks like Chris has made his way past Loopy McGee as well in that Irishy green car.
Yeah, and Stu's right on the tail of Alex there. I wonder if he's made a mistake because he lost 2nd that lap, and now Stu's going to smell blood and water and really go for him now. Probably dive at each turn any way he can, as you see him working the steering wheel there, trying to get on the inside, and it looks like he has. They're neck and neck into the 2nd corner. Stu just ahead by a nose cone. The brakes late, but Alex will have the momentum around the outside, which he gladly uses. Stu keeping it on the inside nicely. They're still neck and neck going over the start-finish line. Stu will have the advantage into the 1st corner, which will definitely help him, but he needs to brake later than Alex and force him out wide. It looks like he's keeping the neat line, and Alex forced himself out wider, but the momentum on that outside really does help, and he's got the lead back. A great little battle.
This is an absolutely incredible battle between 2 of the championship rivals here for the lead of the race here at round 3, and they're barely well, they're not touching at all, are they? They're pretty much a wheel nut away from each other for a whole lap there, and in the end it's Alex who's still in the lead, so a really good defensive job there from Alex, but Stewart is throwing absolutely everything at him and really testing him. And like you said, Alex, Stewart really does want this win, doesn't he? He's finished 2nd so many times now. And, well, you know, consistency does pay off, but from time to time you do need to pick up a win as well if you can. And whilst they're battling, it looks like Scuderia Sam's close to within 2 seconds now of this pair. So don't be surprised to see that red car coming for them soon. But look, Alex drifting the car in the last corner, and that's putting him out really wide on the grass. And this is going to gift the position to Stewart now, the lead. And now this is Scuderia Sam coming up too. Oh, and they collide slightly. Both move the same way. Nothing, no harm done though. They're still facing the same way on the track. Go over to start another lap now. Halfway through this race, and Scuderia Sam down the inside of Alex. These two have battled each other plenty of times in the past, haven't they? But so far in these caterhams, they haven't really seen each other on tracks. This would be the first time, I think, in this championship.
Yeah, they've had a good few battles in the past and for championships too, but I think this is the highest Scuderia Sam's found himself in these caterhams, so we're quite happy with that. But it might be a case of these two working together now to catch Stu back up and try and go for the win.
Yeah, will they be on the mic together?
You'd have to imagine most of them would be all speaking to each other just to say where they are on the track, and if they're going for an overtake or lapping, it just helps a bit, and it's quite handy. It looks like
it'd be fun if the F1 drivers could do that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, but it'd probably a bit harder to do strategies, and you can imagine a few of them trying to put each other off, really going into corners.
Certainly could, yeah. It would add another dimension though, wouldn't it? And it looks like Scooter Sam is holding off Alex at the moment. So Alex there, you see in Stuart Davis, well, I was going to say scamper away up the road a little bit, but he isn't actually scampering away too far ahead. So this is now a three-way battle, you could say, for the lead of the race, isn't it? And Scooter Sam hanging with them at the moment.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that as it looks like Scooter Sam and Alex aren't fighting. Oh, and Toxico's in the barrier. I wonder he's had an issue there, whether it's with his internet or something like that, but he's falling down the grid. Really unfortunate if he's had another issue. It's not what he wants.
This is a terrible shame for Toxico in Orange Papaya Caterham 620R. He's come stationary there as going across the start line, just stationary, and like you say, Alex, I think you might have run out of fuel, because look, this is Loopy McGee now running out of fuel possibly as well on the outside of the last corner. Incredible. What's happening here? Drivers running out of fuel. Yeah,
that's an odd one, especially since they're all set up, so it might be a glitch that's caused it. I know it has happened before, especially in the Ford Escort race we did, so that's massively unlucky for those two, as they're running well mid-pack. But Alex is back through now on Sam. It's pretty close now, under a second between the top three. You can really tell by Alex and Sam not battling, it's really helped their case trying to go for the win. It's caught him right up to Stu in the lead, whether Stu thought he could back off because he thought he had the pace over Sam and Alex, but it really closed up, and it might have just caught him by surprise, really.
I think it might have, because Stuart now in that chrome car is ceding the position to Alex, who comes down the inside in that classic livery, that's British Racing green and yellow that we see Caterham's painted in all through the years. And the side by side they go now over the start finish line to start another lap. Only a few laps left to go here, you'd have to imagine. And it's still Stuart in the lead, or is it? This is Alex coming back again now, with Scooter Sam keeping a watching brief in the background, and he's making a move now on Stuart as well, who's down to third now. Stuart's down to third, but he's fighting back on Scooter Sam, and they give each other just enough space, and that's Alex getting it all wrong too now, drifting it just up ahead, but it hasn't disadvantaged him too much because he's still in the lead, and he's going very, very, very defensive on the inside there. Will this disadvantage his exit? You'll have to imagine so a little bit. Yes, look, he's off on the grass, incredible. Oh, and he's touched the barrier and he's round, and he just avoids collecting these two. And side by side now, Stuart Davis and Scooter Sam go over the line, battling away for the lead, and Alex now is has gone back down to third.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine going defensive just really compromised his exit. He'd have to go wide to keep any speed, and he just kept a bit too much and hit the tyres, which are pretty unforgiving. Any contact with those and they're going to spin you. But Sam must be very happy as his looks like Luke McGee's car cheering everyone on there on the sidelines. But he must be pretty happy it didn't make contact with him, but it must be millimetres between those two cars going past. But very lucky. It was a lap in, it looks like Free Gazelle, who gets out of the way nicely. That's quite nice of him doing that. But you have to wonder if Alex can catch up with 3 minutes left. So 30-second lap, it's only about 4 or 5 laps left in it, really.
Yeah, it's not long to go at all now, and it's only half a second separating the top two. Alex is still not out of it though, like you say, there's a few laps left, and that's Loopy McCheerleader on the outside, still being a fan favourite. Out of fuel, clearly some glitch going on there. And look at D-Man now, he's found himself a bit on his own now, actually, since Toxico ran out of fuel. And his Irish teammate 24 seconds behind him, half a lap, pretty well, more than half a lap behind him, in fifth there, with Free Gazelle in sixth position. I think actually Free Gazelle might be our last runner at the moment. Yes, there he is, look, in that white car. And yeah, because Loopy McGee and Toxico, there he is on the outside of the corner. Yeah, they're all running out of fuel, haven't they? Oh, and round and over. Loop and Free Gazelle is freely spinning up in the air and in the barrier now, facing it, and he's reversing and he's getting going again. That's very unfortunate. Actually, that's what Alex did too, wasn't it? So yeah, it can happen to anyone.
Yeah, it's a more spectacular version of what Alex did. Just caught the barriers and he really went flying across the track. Luckily, no one near him. Yeah, it's quite surprising with Chris, 20 seconds behind his teammate, but I think he went off in the background while we're following these two battling at the front, so a bit unlucky really, but for such a small track it's pretty tricky, as quite a few of the drivers have demonstrated.
It really is, and you can see these drivers are having to really manhandle these cars at these high speeds, 600 kilograms over 300 horsepower, so you imagine the power to weight ratio there, fairly high. Long wheelbase as well, quite understeery, but also tail happy on the power as well. So yeah, these are tricky cars to drive, and at a circuit like Mojave loose as this one is, with all the elevation changes, they are a very tricky beast to get your head around. But these drivers now in the third round, they are getting their heads around them, aren't they, just about? Although we're still seeing some incidents here and there.
Yeah, and looks like one of the drivers that's really got his head around him is Scuderia Sam at the front. He's just about keeping Stu behind him, and you'd have to imagine Stu doing the PlayStation version of this championship will have a lot more experience than Sam, but he's really keeping him behind, which must be infuriating for Stu. Especially as he won't want to finish second yet another round. Yes,
certainly. And Scuderia Sam, though, he hasn't won for a while. He'd be really wanting this one. He nearly throws it all away there on the grass, just goes a little bit too wide. But thankfully there, Stewart manages to avoid him. And over they go now I think this will be the last lap, you know.
Yeah, you'll have to imagine the last lap. So it's all down to this. Whoever is brave enough into the last corner. Sam's defensively is they're really stopping Stu, but Stu made a bit of a mistake there. It looks like he just almost lost the back end. That might be enough to allow Sam to get away from him. There's a Loopy stop cheering there, but looks like Sam will be going across the line now for his first win in the Caterhams.
Yes, Scuderia Sam takes the win here just ahead of Stewart. He would have been breathing a sigh of relief as Stewart made a mistake halfway through the last lap, because he would have been in a position to have a lunge, I think, into the last corner otherwise. And that's Alex doing a lovely little bit of drifting over the line and straight to the barrier, but it's okay because we got damage off. Well, just visual damage is on. And D-Man, look, he's coming under a late bit of pressure from... Oh no, I think he might be a lap ahead of Chris, actually. Yeah. So D-Man coming across the line to take fourth. A bit of a lonely race for D-Man, it has to be said. And Chris Doherty will be coming home in fifth, with Free Gazelle there in sixth, and two non-finishers in Loopy McGee and Toxico, who both ran out of fuel. And just a bit of a glitch, I think, on that one. And you can see by the fastest laps there, it's very close at the front.
Yeah, really close. You have to imagine with Stu taking that's through all of his practice in the other league, but most of them in 35 seconds, which is really good.
Yeah, and this is what it does for the championship. 15 points separating the top three, with Crazy Stewpot, who wasn't present at this one, still up there in fourth ahead of Chris and Dudechev, Loopy McGee, D-Man, Free Gazelle and Cherryberry as well. So join us next time, where hopefully we'll have some more great action from the next one. So it's round 4 and then we've got round 5, 2 more rounds to go, and personally I can't wait to watch them. So join us next time.